What's going on, guys? I'm here today with a video that is very long overdue. The gun from the future, the Kriss Vector SDP 9mm Gen 2 SBR. And as always, thanks to Target Shooting Solutions for letting me use the range for this video. If you're ever in the Avondale, Pennsylvania area, be sure to check them out. It is a huge 27-lane facility. All right, guys, so listen, I've had this gun for a while now. I don't remember what year this was released, the Gen 2 and 9mm, but whatever year that was, I picked one up as soon as I could because I needed this space gun, this very futuristic gun. I needed it, had to have it, needed to SBR it. So that's what I did. I also love the traditional, what I would consider their traditional folding original stock, which is this. They make different versions now. I just don't think any of those really complement the gun the way this original stock does. It looks good, the function of it is there, it just sits well on the cheek. It's like it's a perfect setup. It's got some extra adjustability here in the stock if you wanted to make this longer to give you a longer length of pull, but I like it collapsed all the way in. I will say I do not shoot this gun a whole lot. I've had it for years, I've only had it out a few times. It's just not something that I go to shoot very often. Not because I don't like it, but just because I'd rather be shooting the MP5s. But this gun certainly does hold a place in my heart as far as the cool factor, as far as that futuristic look and the futuristic operation. I wish it was full auto. Obviously this gun was built with full auto in mind, just given the whole design of how the action is working and cycling, keeping that muzzle down, keeping it flatter. Never shot one in full auto, I would love to. But these things rip. If you've ever seen a video in full auto, it's something crazy, like 1,200 rounds plus a minute. It's wild. It dumps crazy rounds, crazy fast. Talking about what I've done to customize it a little bit, it's not a whole lot. I put an EOTech on top because I think it just looks right on this gun. It gives it that blocky feel, blocky futuristic look that lends well to the gun without a big sight on top. I feel like it just looks weird. That's just to me. Maybe it's because I'm used to seeing it with the big optic on top, but I really think the big optic of the EOTech fits the profile and fits this gun perfectly. So that's why I went with that. As soon as I got this gun, I got one of these to put on. I knew that's what I was gonna do. And then of course I just got their factory mags. It gives it that very long futuristic look. And then I'm running foregrip, which is an A3 Tactical, very reminiscent of the MP5K grip. It's that same look and function. And I like that it has the hand stop, it's very close, everything is just right there, and it's set up perfectly for this gun. As you can see, even on semi-auto, it really keeps the gun down. The whole action moving the way it does keeps it nice and flat. You're not getting a lot of recoil from a 9mm anyway, but it is a noticeably different recoil impulse than a standard blowback 9mm. It's not going to be as soft as the roller delay like an MP5, but being 9mm, it's still very soft, and the action of it just keeps it down and flat. Something people don't like about this gun is where the mag release is, being here. So you can't really hold it like this. People like to hold it like this, but the problem is, depending on how much pressure you put on your hand, you could hit that button with your hand over here with your palm, and it drops the mag like you just saw. So you're in, maybe you're shooting it like this, all of a sudden you're squeezing, it just is gonna fall loose. It was meant to be what is classified as an SBR with a front grip, something you can hold on to, get out of the way of the controls. It's obviously a non-reciprocating charging handle, this here. So all this is doing for you is what I do. I don't wrap my thumb around like this. I'll keep it here and rest my thumb, index it right on the charging handle. You can see that there's a nice little ledge, almost like a gas pedal, putting your thumb right on that thing, putting some forward pressure on, putting some back pressure on your hand, and it really keeps it nice and steady. And then my hand is out of the way of this. I try to keep it tucked over so I got room. And then again, you're not hitting things like the bolt release, all these controls that are right there. You're out of the way, your hand is just out of the way. Now you could hold it like this in that old school grip style. that guys knew back in the day. But I feel like it's just a little less stable. You're kind of floating around out here. Maybe a full auto fire might be a little easier, I don't know. But for me, when I'm grabbing a gun like this, I grab it and have my thumb forward, and it feels nice this way. It's the way I do it. If you own one of these, it might not be the way you do it, but that's what works for me. So you can probably see more easily from that side view how flat it likes to sit. It shoots nice. The only complaint I really have with it is the trigger is just not really good at all. It's not very light. I don't know what it is as far as weight goes, but it's not a trigger that you would really want to fire for a long period of time. Semi-auto, just keep ripping that thing. It's heavy. You feel it pretty quickly as your finger starts to get tired. It's just not, you can tell this trigger was designed for full auto fire. Just pulling the trigger, holding it down, and letting it rip. It just does not lend very well to semi-auto fire. They offer this sling swivel that takes place of a push-down pin. Now it's meant to go here on the back where the stock goes. So it's meant to go in here and have the sling point on top. I didn't like it there. I didn't like it, so I moved it. So the downside to where I moved it to, I have to remove the whole pin to take the gun apart, to clean and service or whatever. So not a big deal. If I was in the field using this thing, which I'm not, it would be because you need to use an Allen to get it out. If they were just standard push pins, then you just push them out, everything is good, which is why I swapped it for the one in the back. Again, not where it was meant to, but how I adapted it to, because the way this gun was made, I think it's really set up for a single point sling application. So you would run the single point sling in the back and let it dangle. I just didn't like that. So when I ran the single point sling, I felt like it was better to run it here. That way it was a little more stable if you were carrying it around. It wasn't just hanging around here. It was a little flatter on your chest. You know, that's just kind of what I did with it. Same thing with the pick rail. I left the pick rail on the weak side here for lights. If I wanted to put a light on it or something, it'd be easy to get to. I did not get a rail for this side because it sits too close to the charging handle. It would grab your hand. It just wasn't good. So I just opted for one on this side. That's really all you need. So there's really just not a whole lot to say about this gun. I mean, I don't shoot it as often as probably I'd want to. It's really just a piece that I have in the collection that I just don't shoot. I shoot other things first, not because it's worth any money or anything like that, but it just is something I don't really feel the need to shoot a lot. It's cool, it looks cool, I have it, it's a very futuristic gun. That's why I wanted it. So this was more of a want buy, not so much to shoot and train with, but just sort of like a novelty gun, something I just wanted to have because it looked so cool. And this thing just looks the part. You can't deny that. This thing looks the part. It looks like it's straight out of a sci-fi movie, and that's why I love it so much. There's so many guns I like just because they look like this. They have that futuristic space gun look, and this just does it for me. This thing is just so cool. It's probably one of the coolest looking guns I have. I just don't shoot it, which is a shame. But there it is, guys. I mean, this is the Kriss Vector SDP 9mm Gen 2 SBR. Don't forget Steve MP5 on Instagram. I'll see you next time.